Hi guys, what's up, what's down, what's sideways? James here for Chronic Fatigue Syndrome Day. My friend, my enemy, my constant companion. Uh, Day 54. Yes, I had a haircut. I went there, James, and came back, Sean. Haha. I get to do that like every 6 months. I think that's when I had a haircut last. About that time. How's it going? So, day 54. Um, Today has been a fun day. Fun. So much fun that I'm selfish and I don't want you to experience that level of fun. So I hog it all for myself. That much fun. Um, Yesterday wasn't much fun. I mean, yesterday was so much fun too. Um, yeah, so it's nice being reminded about the good old fibromyalgia syndrome. Um, Fun dreams though. Lots of fun dreams. Uh, there was a lot of things that I was thinking of sharing today, um, but see this kind of this processing that you can maybe see my brain going through. That's the thing that you have to sometimes deal with chronic fatigue syndrome. Is it's not necessarily that you don't know what you're trying to say. It's the inability to express it, to change it from the thought that's in here to actually be able to verbalize it. And normal people have this as well. Like it's just a human thing where sometimes I blah blah blah, word salad as we talked about before. Um, but if I write something out, I can script it really nicely. Write it out, looks good. Come back after 5 minutes, change a few words here or there. So when I'm writing, I get to express myself a little bit more closer to maybe what's inside my head. I think maybe because we've got the time to do it and to revise it. And when I'm speaking, there are times when I can speak and I'm on the ball and it's just beautiful. Like, um, anything from needing to put someone in their place to being able to coach someone to this or that. And some things are a lot easier than others to get out. Um, I may also be a little bit more slack around family members where I like, can I, that thing. But like when I'm out and about, like, oh my goodness, I have to appear normal, because no one wants to employ someone who's got chronic fatigue syndrome. We have the words in there, chronically fatigued, and they usually aren't synonymous with a good workflow or getting work done. And I don't know if businesses are allowed to discriminate, but if I was a business and I'm paying someone money, I want a return on that money. So I might not hire someone with chronic fatigue syndrome unless there was like, I will hire you, I'll give you this much money for this work. And and you have this much time to do the work. So you can take all the time or less time, take a bit of pressure off though. If I had to deal with other people with chronic fatigue syndrome, then I might be a bit like that, depending on how bad they are. Um, but any job I've gone into, uh, I've my last major one where I was like working for someone else. Um, they knew I had it, but it didn't affect. They didn't see any poor performance on me, so it never really kind of registered. Like sometimes James just appeared tired. Like sometimes James was not only tired, but in immense pain, doubled over at the desk. So much fun. Also slightly embarrassing when you're a prideful creature and you're around that many people. Not fun. Not fun. Knocks the pride a bit. So yeah, I've never really let it affect my work. I most probably could do better without the chronic fatigue syndrome or the fibromyalgia syndrome, but the level of competency I'm at, you wouldn't notice that I have it, just that I appear a little bit tired, and sometimes I might appear a little bit slower than normal, but my slow is, some people's fast, which is sad and observable, not me bragging. Um, a lot of normal people are complacent. They don't realize It's not often you realize what you've got until you don't have it anymore. Um, so they have bodies that can have energy. Like, they can have a good sleep. Sometimes you just want to like walk up to them and like just get your finger in your thumb and you grab the shirt and go like, you can have a good sleep. Why aren't you looking after yourself? Ah, you know, that kind of thing. And like the abusing of alcohol. Like, no, I don't want to drink because that just makes me feel even more like I feel like all the time. It's not a release or an escape for me. It's more like bringing me back to where I was. And I don't understand you wanting to get there when I'm trying to get away from there. So it's just weird. Um, but if you've got chronic fatigue syndrome, then you just have to be an adult. If you're an adult, and if you're going to go and work somewhere, you can't get at the boss. Like, if you can't do what the job is, if you can't do what is required for the job, there's no use bemoaning the employer. Um, they have a job that needs filling. They have a specific requirement. If you don't fit it, you don't cut it. Um, might sound cold, but that's business. That is, they they are responsible for not only for themselves and their family, but the other employees and the other employees' family. One person is not worth bringing the whole thing down. Um, and once again, that might seem a little bit cruel, but the lesson there is find work that you can do. Somewhere, somehow, there is some work that you can do that shouldn't go against your morals or ethics, he'll quickly add. So, me personally, I have a range of skills, and what I try to do is arrange it so that I can eventually use those skills and not have to go and work at a set 9 to 5 job. I'm happy working 10 hours a day. Because like 10 hours a day when you can take a nap every 2 hours is not really, like, it's doable. It's kind of like, why would you want to work 10 hours? But what I'm getting at is when you can find that ability to maneuver around what you want, then it's not really so much the number of hours or workspace or something like that. It can just be down to the fact that for a set period of time you have to be switched on, and you and your body don't always pick the time that you're switched on. So if you need to work in the morning, your body might not switch on to the afternoon, or vice versa, or something like that. So working from home in your own hours or in a job that's part-time and that you supplement otherwise, so there are a lot of options. It's not easy, it's hard, it's a lot of work. It's very doable. A lot of people do it. It's just getting it to the point where you can do it. You could be a consultant, you could be a YouTuber, you could be a freelancer, you could be an affiliate marketer, you could do MLMs, you could do something. Sitting in houses with elderly. If you're on at night, go do night shifts. If you can't sleep at night, go do night shifts. Sometimes you can get like a 3 to an 8 hour shift at night. If you're going to be awake, get paid big. Not that I'm really advocating night shifts. Like, I do that and just wrecks you. However, if you absolutely cannot sleep at night and you're wired, then may as well get paid for it. So there are ways. The tired aspect is just a pain in the butt, and this kind of process thing and this word salad, like, it's all part of it. So I do appreciate this video as being a little bit wee, but when you're setting out to share what chronic fatigue syndrome is like I said before, there's so much woe. And honestly, I could have shared a lot of woe by now. I have ample woe. But we all hear the worry, we all know about it, and if you've got chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia syndrome, you already experienced it, you already know it. It's not like you need to know that there are other people who are experiencing the same thing that you are. Like, you know it, they've also got chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia syndrome. But the living with it aspect is not just the woe or the play on the mental or physical aspects, it's this having to navigate life with an extra set of stimulus to play with. So the thinking, the thinking play, the sometimes not being able to verbalize, the pain, the fatigue, the funny organ feeling, like all of it. The inability sometimes to be able to convey your message because the brain and the tongue just don't link up. And as I shared before, as a child, I would sometimes use a bit more archaic language because I found it easier to be able to convey my message. I don't so much anymore. However, I do feel more comfortable when I use it because it just allows me to express myself. And not being able to express yourself is really, really awful sometimes. But yeah, this is what like this very, 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 very tiny look at what it is to deal with chronic fatigue syndrome and live with it. It's this constantly like Russian roulette. How's today going to be? Even like, how's this hour going to be? You know, how's this week going to be? Ba ba ba. So, thank you very much for letting me share with you day 54. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment or ask away. Introduce yourself, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you very much for letting me share today.